It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. You're watching the STPL. My name is Kix, and you are joining me for match 1 of week 3 from the STPL round 3. Oh sorry, yeah, week 3 of the STPL round 3. I can't believe we made it this far. Been going since March. Another round still to come after this. We're about to head in to game 4 between White and aSh. Now White have actually won a 3-0 victory. The aSh have a chance to bring a little bit of pride back here in this 4th game, but they're going to be up against a very tough opponent to do so. As when we introduce the players, you'll see them fighting for White Clan. It's going to be Famas2. Now Famas2 actually one of the highest ranked players in the STPL. I believe he's actually still 2nd. Did go 1-0 so far in round 3. He's 5-0 against Protoss. And last round, he did go 2 for 2, actually losing to Eon Zerg. And I believe... who was the other guy he lost to? Scan, I think it was. Scan, no. I can't remember who else he lost to, but he did lose to Eon Zerg in round 2. But if we actually have a quick look at the player table, once again, you can see overall in the STPL, he's 11 for 2 right now. So a very strong player for aSh's ClonePro, one of their debut players. Here for aSh. Now, ClonePro is a completely new player to the tournament. I don't really know too much about him, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to go through like an intro for him, unfortunately, here. But we're going to be heading on to Sin Peaks of Baekdu. Now, Sin Peaks of Baekdu, or Shin Peaks of Baekdu, sorry, is from 2007, I believe, or the oldest map in the pool. A very, very cool map, actually. 2 players, 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock spawns. Lots of windy paths heading through the middle, lots of chokes as well, making this a very good map for Terran in the late game. But Protoss can take a very quick third bases here if they do so choose to. But to see how this is going to play out as we head into our game, let's head on over to the game. It's going to be White Famas2 versus aSh's ClonePro here in game 4. Now spawning here in the 2 o'clock position, we do have the green Terran even fighting for White Clan. It's Famas2. Oh, okay, that's funny. Is this the right map? Okay, so what? But down here in the... oh wow, he's actually Terran. Sorry, I didn't actually know. I'll edit his race quickly on the overlay, just so we know he's Terran. But this is going to be a TBT actually, so this is going to be even harder for ClonePro. But this is a very, very fun map in TBT, so I'm kind of excited to how this is going to play out. So orange player in the 8 o'clock position, fighting for aSh. It's ClonePro. Now ClonePro is actually going to wall off here. Now, one tip I have for anybody in TBT is never wall off, because you wall off in TBT and all of a sudden your wall is getting sieged down and you die because you've got no supply depots anymore. But let's see if this is going to work out for ClonePro. He did sub in for Bal, so I guess they did allow him to swap race, but Famas2 playing a little bit more conventional for this map, going to build his racks at the front ramp here, so going to be able to secure his natural behind this, and also block the early sort of SCV scouting path. I mean, you can see ClonePro sort of go the whole way around and up and round again, but it's kind of not really worth it. The SCV will always take the quickest path. Now, also the other thing is, on this map, it's not exactly the easiest to wall. You actually have to build a depot up here, and then a depot there, but I can't even remember if it's link tight. I know it's Zerlet tight, but still, maps back then weren't really designed with blocking Zerglings off in mind, because by this point the game had shifted to more macro styles. Now, if you are watching and you only really used to watch StarCraft 2, you will notice this map from Wings of Liberty. It was called Crossfire when it wasn't Kesper that brought this back, but GOM TV brought this back, so going to be interesting to see how this is going to be playing out in TVT. Now, of course, we do have both players going for their gases. Now, Famas2 has actually pulled off of gas, so he's going to be going for a quick expansion behind this. One Marine into expand as well for him. Now, it looks like ClonePro keeping his guys in gas for now, so we're either going to see a double factory or a double starport play coming off of the back of this. Now, obviously, this is a pretty good map for 2 Fact Vultures. Very, very wide open natural, as you can see here. So a little bit harder to just defend with a single bunker. But factory coming in here for Famas2. Still no expansion command center just yet. We should see him putting guys back in gas in just a second. When he can build his command center, which is about to come up now. So that will be on its way. Now, are we going to see 2 factories? The window for 2 factories is kind of past now, so it's likely going to be 2 Starport Wraith, I would have to imagine. I mean, there's no way he's going for a command center behind this, is there? There's no way. This is bound to be Starports, it has to be. I mean, maybe he is going for a command center, but he's built another depot, so that's going to delay it even further. Kind of interested in what ClonePro's plan is, but looks like he is saving up his money again, so it is going to be a command center. Now, I'm not really sure I agree with this. He did stay mining gas for a very, very long time, so he's got a glut of gas now that he's going to be struggling to spend, I guess. One benefit he does have is perhaps he can use this to get siege and tanks at the same time, which necessarily isn't a poor choice. But I definitely think that with the openings, Famas2 is going to have an advantage. He did go 4 less Marines, I believe, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he did. So, ClonePro is going to be on 1 base for a little bit longer. He went into 3 SUV, or 3 Marines as well. The single Marine from Famas2 going to be able to defend while he gets his tanks up. We see the first tank on the way as well. And if he puts his tank on this ramp, it's going to be very difficult for any real pushes to come through. Now, he is going to have to move his Marines here to try and push this barracks away. But expanding in the main in TVT is also very weird. ClonePro obviously not as experienced as Famas2 in this matchup. Now, Depot coming up, Engineering Bay coming up as well, because he's not really been able to scout too much. So I imagine he's kind of blind countering 2-port Wraith here, which is going to be a little bit problematic for ClonePro, but we do have the second gas coming in here for Famas2, so going to be able to build up his tank count very, very quickly. No siege mode as of yet, not really necessary super early in TVT when you're going for a tank style like this, especially against 1 factory as well. Now, ClonePro is doing everything he can to counter an all-in that isn't coming, and that is quite sad, but there's not really too much he can do about it now. He has got all of his units at his ramp, including SCV to repair. And I think he believes that because Famas2 is so much better than him, he's just going to roll in him to kill him quickly. But Famas2 isn't that kind of player. He is going to build his own academy. Armory is up for him as well, so they are going to be able to defend against Wraiths. But of course, as we know, I mean, there's a missile turret here that's completely a waste of minerals, unfortunately, for ClonePro. He's actually blind countering Wraiths right now, and that's... I mean, I can kind of understand his mindset. He's going to be up against a very, very strong player here, but he's not going to have the counter to these tanks. I mean, this is 3 tanks right now. We're going to have another 2 on the way. Siege mode. Oh, it has been researched, actually, so this is going to be a strong, strong siege position. And I mean, siege mode for ClonePro is researched as well. He is going to have to try and take this high ground, but it looks like Famas2 thinking a little bit better, gonna pull back, doesn't want to throw his tanks away too early, as that can be the kind of move that will get ClonePro back in the game. Now, ClonePro needs to siege on this high ground, and he's not sieging, and that's because he's going for Charon boosters. He does have a starport on the way, but you can see that Famas2 taking this position here. We actually saw this from... Was it Famas2 who played on this map last week as well? No, it was Scan. Scan played on this map for Seoul, and he took the exact same position. Now, the reason why he's taken that position is he secures his 4th gas and he secures his third gas. There's not really too much you can do to push up these ramps against 4 tanks. So that side of the map now is effectively, until dropships come into play, locked down. And it also does allow him to put a little bit of pressure on this base from ClonePro, which will stop him expanding here a little bit later on. Now ClonePro is going to take a little bit of a defensive stance himself, sieging up a tank on the high ground. We see the first scan on the way, one from Famas2 in the main. I believe he actually scanned the starport as well. Now there is going to be a couple of raids here eventually to try and take down some of these tanks, but he's going to be up against a Goliath. Now back in Famas2's base, he's going into his own starport, keeping up with his depot production. 4 factories from Famas2 at this point in the game. 3rd command center very nearly done. Now it looks like ClonePro wants to try and be a little bit aggressive, but he's going to be running into a lot more tanks than he has. And he needs to go to the high ground and just siege. Just take this position. Take this position and just secure the bottom right. That's all you can do at this point. But he's pulling way too far back right now. He's giving Famas2 the right to move way too far forward. But Famas2, with a lot of respect for his opponent, believes he'll have more tanks there than that. He's going to pull back, take his high ground, much like we see ClonePro doing, but ClonePro did add this additional missile turret just to be sure. Now the first Wraith is going to come in here and scout that there is a 3rd base and 3rd gas coming on in, and ClonePro going to be adding on his 3rd command center as well. So ClonePro looks like he's got a good idea. ClonePro though, pushing a little bit further forward with his units again. I really do think he should just try and secure this location. I mean, look at Famas2. He has got this completely knuckled down. Now the Wraith actually going to go down here to a Goliath. A little bit unfortunate there by ClonePro. ClonePro adding on another missile turret as well. Something tells me he doesn't play TVT as much. Now ClonePro, of course, I mean, minerals are going to be a glut early on for Terran, but he only has 3 factories right now. His gas is very high, and this is going to be the thing that will really lose him the game. Now it looks like Famas2 tried to push forward there to take this high ground, but luckily for ClonePro, he's going to be able to get there just before Famas2 does. And this is in order to secure this bottom right base. I mean, you can see the only way down there is through this sort of back corridor, which is blocked off by this ramp, and also through this high ground, which is blocked off by this ramp and this ramp. So ClonePro looks like he wants to put a little bit of additional pressure on. Going to be going into this high ground. Now this is going to be a good position to take. He should probably only leave 1 tank here though, but he's going to see if he can try and siege down maybe this turret, maybe. I don't think you can hit the minerals from here, but he is going to maybe secure this base. But this positioning is a little bit dodgy again, because he's not really going to be able to do too much damage. He's going to be able to take out a couple of turrets that have been added on by Famas2, but he's given up this location for not really much purpose. Now TVT obviously a very strong positional game. We see the dropships out on the map for both players now. Double the dropships for Famas2 at the moment, and that's going to be pretty good for him. Now one thing that Famas2 is doing, which I saw I can't remember who said it. I think it was Haya. I saw in one of his tutorial videos. Haya said always try and keep 3 units to a dropship, so they all unload at the same time. So like a tank and 2 Goliaths if you can. But triple dropship here coming in by Famas2, just moving around, posturing on the map. Did see that this dropship's on the way in, and this counter drop is going to be so strong. This dropship unfortunately going to go down before it's going to do anything. And I mean, Famas2 is just taking an incredible lead right now, and Famas2 still with a lot of respect for his opponent, actually keeping a lot of units back in defense just to make sure he doesn't throw away the game. But it looks like Famas2 gonna push in now, gonna take this high ground position and gonna look to put his own pressure on this starport. Now this is not only gonna do this, but it's also gonna give him a staging ground to land his drops in here, and that looks exactly like what we're going to see. The dropships heading on down, 3 dropships full of units coming into the back of ClonePro's main. He doesn't have any units here to defend, just a single tank. The other tank needs to siege on up, not going to be able to. The tank's being pulled back now, but this is the factories under siege. That additional tank actually went down. And I mean, the dropship's coming in to try and do something. ClonePro, unfortunately, getting his SCV stuck in the main, unable to properly mine at this base. And it looks like ClonePro may have just been a little bit outclassed. A nice drop of the tanks, but a little bit too close. Not able to drop this final tank kill. And I mean, he may be able to clean up this drop, but at what cost? Another dropship should be coming in here soon. And a lot of units from Famas2 heading on over. And this is just too much damage to be taking. Actually, that tank still in this dropship, getting a little bit lazy there with his tank. But unfortunately, it looks like ClonePro is going to have to tap out soon. Now, he does have his third base. Still no mining here. Fourth base, though, saturated and mining gas up for Famas2. And this is going to be the death blow. We're going to see the 5th command center come in as we see the 4 dropships drop in here at the very back of the main. And there is going to be absolutely nothing here from ClonePro to defend. And ClonePro with only 2 factories right now. In fact, he's only gone down to 1 factory now. Going to be building a single tank at a time. And this is where ClonePro is going to be starting to look to learn his ABC. He's actually going to try and drop empty dropships on there. The SCV is actually being pulled. I mean, he's doing his best to hold on, and it's a valiant effort. He's had a very tough opponent here, but unfortunately, in the act of TBT in this game, he has been completely and utterly outclassed by Famas2. This is great positioning. I mean, he's going to lose his armory as well. Great job trying to repair it, though. Keep it alive as long as humanly possible. A tank getting dropped out in siege range, and that is not a look you want to go for. And another 4 dropships loaded up, ready to go. The 5th base just about to finish up from Famas2. I mean, we're going to have the 4th gas over here soon, but the mineral saturation very poor. But looks like we're going to have more and more factories being added all over the map. He wants to try and hold on. He doesn't want to go on down without a fight, and I have a lot of respect for players like this, and he's going to stay on his 1 factory at his main. He's going to lose this one, needs to cancel it, get that money back. Does need to cancel this tank as well before this factory goes down. Does get a little bit of the money at least, but looks like we are going to have this single tank get taken down. Another 4 dropships of units going to be taken down. Funnily enough, Famas2 is actually not choosing to attack that because it is close to his tanks, but I mean, ClonePro down to a single, not even mining it as natural now. Great tank positioning here by Famas2. Going down into 2 mining bases now. ClonePro trying to play refugee Terran right about now. And you know what I said about Super Saiyan in the last game? You've seen Kick's GG timing when you watch me ladder. No, actually, you've seen fancy GG timing on the ladder. You've seen Kick's GG timing. You can call that fancy GG timing too. And this is how ClonePro goes even further beyond. I can't scream because I'll kill my voice, but you get the joke. And I mean, this CC is going to go down, even the engineering bay going to go down. I mean, Famas2 has +2 attack against 1 attack. He has so many units. Having trouble getting down the ramp though, this tank conga line. A little bit too much, but the tank's going to take down this factory. Going to take down these depots. And Famas2 with 5 dropships now, going to be heading over into this 4th base. And with that, ClonePro is going to have to tap out. I mean, look at the size of the army from Famas2 coming in from 2 separate angles. And I mean, Famas2 going to try and hold on to his ramp. Good target firing so far by the orange Terran here for aSh. But I mean, even with this many tanks on the high ground, they're not going to be able to break through here. We've got tanks being dropped down next to the 4th base. The command center trying to fly away. ClonePro still hanging on to every little bit of hope he has. But too many units have gone down. GG! And Famas2 takes a decisive 4th game for White Clan. Now, of course, Famas2 an incredibly strong player. So ClonePro has nothing to be ashamed of. He did a decent job, actually. Lasted way longer than I would have against Famas2. And I mean, his positioning was okay. He's got stuff to work on, which is obviously the same thing for everybody in Brood War. But that, of course, is going to give White Clan the win in our first series of today. So let's actually just do a quick recap of match 1, then we'll go into a quick look at the brackets. Now, when I say brackets, like the group stage, I guess kind of the brackets, but either way, let's have a look. So we saw Ho take down Dentag in a ZVP, Sapo taking down Super Saiyan on Athena 2, Jojo being taken down by Iris on Katrina SE, and Famas2 taking down ClonePro in the 4th and final game on Shin Peaks of Baekdu. Now, one thing I will say is aSh are a very valiant team. They are up against one of the strongest teams in the league at the moment, and they came out, they played their best, and you should have a lot of respect for aSh, because even though they've not had the best seasons, they have been playing non-stop. They've not missed, I mean, they've missed a couple of games, unfortunately, but no matches. They've always turned up for their matches, and they're always looking to improve, and that's something to really respect about them. Now, to have a look at how that changes the Group A rankings, at the end of day 1, White Clan moved from 5th place to 4th. They are still going to be behind Media, FBW, and Naz, though, as they are yet to lose a game. So FBW, Naz, and Media are of course going to be coming up later in the week. But that's not the end of the STPL today, guys. It may, or you may think it's the end due to the song, but we are going to be back in 5 minutes or so for our second series of today. It's IRK versus DM. See you guys very soon.